Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, and I am about 5 weeks out from my last frost date, 7 weeks out from when I like to have the garden fully planted out. And this is the middle of Tomato Fest seed starting week extravaganza excitement. So yes, that does mean I am in the middle of doing all of my tomato seed starting. I've already done my dwarf tomatoes and my slicer tomatoes, and today I'm doing my Roma-style tomatoes. Now, all of these aren't technically Roma tomatoes, but they all have that Roma size and shape, which is why I categorize them like this. Some of them are determinate, some of them are indeterminate. I just group them like this because they tend to have that meatier flesh and that nice cylindrical shape. I have 12 varieties that I am going to start today, and I'm going to do it the same way I've done all of my other tomatoes so far. So if you've been with me for the last couple of days, you know how this is going to go. I'm going to show you anyways, because I do have some varieties that I am really excited about. As I mentioned, I'm going to do all of these the same way I've done all of my other tomato plants. If I've never grown the seed before and I just got the seed this year, I'm going to put 2 seeds per pot, and if it's one I've had for a while or it's not the first year I'm planting it, I'm going to put 3 seeds in each of these. All of that is just for germination reasons. Most of the time I'm only going to be keeping 1 plant even if 3 sprouts, unless I know of someone who really wants that tomato. But to start out today, I'm going to do all of my Wild Boar Farm seeds, and this first one is a new one this year, and that's the Apollo's Chariot. I don't remember a lot about this one. That's one thing about Wild Boar Farms, is they've got so many really extreme looking tomatoes. Sometimes it all just starts mixing together in my head. But it should be fun to see how it turns out when the season starts. Okay. I then have Boar's Tooth, which, if I remember correctly, is more of a striped tomato, but I don't, like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to look at these, so I don't quite remember which one is what. And I did grow this one last year. Didn't have a huge harvest off of it. But last year was such a weird year for me for some of my tomato beds. This one is the Sweet Cream, and I do believe this is more of a yellow-white tomato, if I'm getting my tomatoes straight, because sometimes I pick up tomatoes with similar names and then get them confused in my head. And you'll see what I mean when I show you the next tomato. The next tomato is a Sweet Tooth. So I think they've got some of the same plants that were mixed together to create it. But if I remember correctly, this is more of those, I call them galaxy tomatoes, where you've got like all of the different colors kind of swirling in the tomato, whereas the Sweet Cream was more of that white yellow. Those are all of the Wild Boar that I'm doing this year in the Roma style. All of them, I believe, are indeterminate, if I remember correctly. But then I have one variety from Johnny's, and that is the Speckled Roman. This is a striped Roma style. It's a little more finicky for me sometimes because it is an heirloom style. So some years I have good success with it and some years I do not. The next couple are from Seeds and Such. The first one is a free one I got when I made my order, and that is the Saucy Lady. This is just a typical Roma-style tomato. So it's just that red tomato. It's not really my favorite, but I have the seeds, and it's pretty good for making sauce, and that is the last of them. I won't be purchasing this myself, but I do like to use the seeds I have on hand. And I always feel accomplished when I actually use up my seeds. I don't know why that is. It's the Saucy Lady. And then here is the reason I put in the order in the first place, and that is the Bellatrix. This is also more of a traditional style Roma or paste tomato, but it got me with the name. So I had to give it a try last year. It was another one of those tomatoes that I don't think got a good chance. So hopefully this year will be better for it. Okay, this next section is from M.I. Gardner, and the first one is the striped Roma, which I do constantly get the plant confused with the speckled Roman. And part of me is wondering if maybe they are technically the same, but just for patent and copyright reasons, they've been given slightly different names. I don't know how all of that works. But yes, if I grow these plants side by side, they usually look nearly identical. And then I have a new one this year. Actually got a couple new ones. And that is, both of these are kind of similar. We've got the Midnight Plum, which looks like it's gonna have some beautiful purple shoulders, which I absolutely love in a tomato. And you will see that love in the next couple of tomatoes because they're very, very similar. Because then I have the Blackout Roma, which has also got those shoulders, and it's gonna look very similar to one of my all-time favorite Roma tomatoes, which is next. So we'll see how both of these do side by side. It looks like the plum, the Midnight Plum, is indeterminate, and then this Blackout is determinate. So my all-time favorite Roma tomato is the Midnight Roma. This is by Row 7. They do some amazing seed varieties, but the flavor of this one, I love it. It's like I said, it's got those dark shoulders, and so it gives it kind of, it's got the anthocyanins in it, so it's got that deeper, kind of richer, people call it smoky. I don't know if I'd call it smoky. if I can, I am going to always have this one in my garden, along with the next one. And I guess it's also the last one. I'm starting to get a rhythm to doing all this, and it's going faster and faster each day. Because the last tomato is the California tulip. I love the look of these. I also love the flavor of these. But I think it's because it's the only Roma-style that I've found that is yellow and orange like this. And I don't know if other people would consider it a Roma-style, but the way it looks and the way it is in the middle, it's great for making sauces. And so I call it a Roma-style. Just get everything cleaned up and then get the vermiculite and get these on a heat mat. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the slicer tomatoes yesterday. I'm gonna see if there's room under the humidity domes that are already on both heat mats. And I think I have enough room to put all of these without starting a new heat mat. So that is what I'm going to do. As I'm doing it, we can also check to see if we've got anything sprouting. So that'll be exciting. I'm going to start off with everything in this tomato humidity dome. Don't think we have anything sprouting yet. I'd be surprised if we did. No, we don't. But we've got 4 spots open. So I'll just finish filling up this tray. And I forgot to water those in. Give me a quick second and I'm gonna spray those in. My brain is all over the place today, apparently. This is the danger of doing your seed starting before you've started your coffee. Okay, let's go over to the other heat mat now. So this heat mat has what is left of the peppers, which is an ahi and a sweet bonnet. And then it also has the eggplants and some of the herbs that I decided I wanted to try putting on a heat mat. So far, still nothing on anything. I'm not entirely sure that these peppers are even going to germinate. But I'm going to get the new tomatoes on here and then spray them. It would have been much easier to do on the table, but here we are. So that is day 3 of Tomato Fest done. We've done 3 rounds of tomatoes so far with 40 different varieties of tomato plants started. Sometimes I scare myself with how many tomatoes I start each year because I'm like, how am I gonna fit 40 to 50 tomato plants in my backyard? Yet I do it every year. I don't know, it just happens. All of that to say, tomorrow I will be starting my snacker style tomato plants. These are usually the cherries, the grapes, the pears, and some of those like saladette style of tomatoes. I like to group all of those together in a category called snackers. I don't have a ton of those. I think I have maybe 7 or so, which is not a lot compared to what we've done the last 3 days, but they are varieties that I am super excited about trying. Most of them are new to me this year, so it's going to be amazing if I can get all of them to fruiting And if you want to follow me on this seed starting journey and watch how the garden ends up growing this year, feel free to subscribe down below. Hit the bell to get all of the notifications. And I do also have an Instagram and Threads account where you can follow a lot of my gardening journey as well. I would love to know if you are doing any of the varieties I showed today, or if you have suggestions on what I might like. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, I hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.